I'll tell you what, looking through all the stuff, I thought I knew much that I knew about you, and I thought, blimey, how to surprise you after about 12 interviews. You've had 16 managers. Ollie's 16 in 8 years, which is a lot of influences, isn't it?
Didn't realise that, to be fair. No, I've had some really good managers. I've been really fortunate to play under some real good people who's always really trusted me to play in the teams. But no, I actually didn't realise Ollie was the 16th. So no, it's I've played under some top managers. I'm really proud of that.
I'll ask you about the FA Youth Cup in a moment, but can you remember the moment when the manager said, "I want you playing in my first team" for the first time at Sheffield United?
Yeah, I can. It was Mickey Adams at the time. We were struggling in the Championship, I think, and I was on the bench for a couple of games, and all of a sudden at half time, just after half time, about 50 minutes, I got the nod to go on. It was a bit of a surprise for myself, but I went on and managed to do well, and I pretty much played for Sheffield United ever since then. So you know, it was nice to play under managers, which is like I said, always shown great faith in me.
And your coach was just saying there that the first thing he did on the pitch was flatten Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, it was against Cardiff, and they had Bellamy and Bothroyd up top at the time, so they had probably the best attack in the league at the time. So it was coming on, it was a bit nerve-wracking, but no, I put a good tackle in, and the crowd got right behind me, and they gave me great support ever since then. I
mean, the credible thing after that is you weren't substitute again for Sheffield United. When you played, you started.
Didn't know that stat either.
There we are. I did my research. Yeah, but that says it all about the way the club felt about you as much as your ability for them.
Yeah, that's a great start, and makes me feel real proud. That just shows how much faith, especially Danny Wilson at the time when I was a young boy, and I look back and I did make some mistakes. I made some big mistakes for big goals, but no matter what, he believed that I was good enough to be playing, and if I made a mistake, he wouldn't take me out of the team and put someone more experienced in. He always had great faith and great trust in me, and I thank him a lot for that. Did
you find you learnt more from playing with players who played the game a long time, the experienced players, rather than the kind of loan system? I'm not making it kind of an academic thing or talking about trends in football, but from your point of view, was that what was most valuable to you?
Well, I think no matter what, I think as a young boy, the main thing is you can learn on the training pitch, and you can learn from coaches, because there's some excellent coaches out there, but when you learn the most is when you cross over that white line and playing real football for 3 points. So no, I was really fortunate to play so many games at such a young age where I've learnt so much, and I had great mentors as well in terms of Chris Morgan and Neil Collins back then. So two great pros who's helped me along thoroughly, especially with my defensive work.
I asked Travis about his first impressions of you, and he said it was just the size and the stature, and you could play a bit.
Yeah, obviously the size and the stature, everyone thinks he'd be good at heading and tackling, but no, it's something that I'm really proud of. It's something that I work on still now. It's bringing the ball out from the back and playing, and it's probably helped me that I played growing up till I was 15, 16 in centre midfield all the way through my life. So no, it's part and parcel of being a defender now. They want you to build up and play out, and Ollie's no different here. He wants his defenders to start the attacks off and do it that way. But first and foremost, you've got to be a good defender, and that's what you're really proud of, to be a defender.
I've read so many articles with so many different clubs and people saying I was the person, or we were the club to make this guy that brought the ball out of this defence. Is it just something you've always done since you were a kid?
Yeah, it was, but it's something that, like I say, you build into your game when you get confidence and become more comfortable at playing at the first team level. I'd probably say under my third year at Sheffield United was the year where I probably started to do it a lot more than I did. Probably under Nigel Clough really at Sheffield United, where he really wanted me to start bringing the ball out of defence and building attacks. And obviously you don't do it if you're not confident. So you've got to have great confidence in yourself, but also you've got to feel trust from the manager for you to do it. And because sometimes when you are doing it, you might make a mistake or give the ball away, but no, it comes and stems from the managers giving you confidence to do it.
And how much more special when it's your team, when it's the team that you've stood there and watched all those years?
Yeah, definitely. It's such a great club, Sheffield United, and I'm really happy to see them in the Premier League, back where they belong. The fans deserve it, and I'm really happy for the way they've started.
Right here at this football club, if you're young enough, you're good enough, and I think that was the same sort of thing that was going on at Sheffield United back in those days when you were trying to become a professional footballer? Was that how it seemed? That you would get that opportunity if you were good enough?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm really, that's what I really thank them for, the opportunity. But like I said, back in the day, it used to be hard for young players to get that opportunity. And like I said, when they make 1-2 mistakes, they probably find themselves sat on the bench. It never happened with me at Sheffield United. They've shown great faith in me to go and play every game whenever I was fit. So, no, it's like it here at Old Trafford now. You see the average age of our team, what's starting. And we have some great young players coming through, but they know that if they start performing or start upping the game and in training and working hard, then they've got a great opportunity to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, and they should feel really lucky, but also they should feel really privileged. I
was saying to Travis, the amazing thing about the FA Youth Cup final in 2011, for most of the people around you hadn't played first team football. I think you played 6 games, sub and 5 starts. So suddenly that's perhaps not the biggest game of your season, even though it's a huge game.
Yeah, I think it really did help me to perform in that game, to be fair. Like you say, it was such a huge occasion. It was a sellout at Bramall Lane. And probably the lads who haven't played first team was probably feeling the occasion more than me, because I played in first team. And I think that's what first team football does for you. The pressure of playing for the first team football is totally different to playing for a youth team. But obviously it was such a big occasion. But no, the 5 starts what I've had previously did help me along the way in terms of I felt I could really go and perform in the Youth Cup final. And
hung on perhaps in that first leg a little bit, and then Old Trafford was a different story and a painful one as well.
Yeah, it was a great first leg, great exciting game, 2-2, and we took it to Old Trafford, and the fans followed us in numbers there. It was an unbelievable occasion. Obviously disappointing for me not just to lose the game, but to not be there at the end and get the trophy and see them win it. Getting knocked out in was obviously the first time in career, and still only the time I've been knocked out. So no, it was disappointing not to see it through in the end, but there was an excellent side, Manchester United. We knew we was up against it, and it just shows with the amount of players that they've produced into the Football League and into the Premier League and playing at the top level. You've
spoken really well about the kind of goodwill after that game and the shirt arriving from Manchester United with the goodwill and get well message. Did that even cross your mind this summer when you were sat around the table with people like Ed Woodward?
It didn't really probably cross my mind, but it just shows what a classy club Manchester United is. Back I remember I was obviously gutted to lose the game and gutted to come off and miss the occasion after the game and be with the lads, but then to receive this, it made me feel really good, and the little nice letter, what they said in terms of good luck and you're a top player and keep doing what you're doing, etc. It really gave me good motivation and really made me feel real confident in my ability and give me good belief to go on and play well next season. So no, it was a classic touch from them. You did that with the 3 seasons, 3 Player of the Years, bang, 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 and then off to Hull. How big a wrench was that, and how difficult was it kind of initially not playing like you would have wanted to play? Yeah, it was really tough. I, like you said, playing every game as a young boy, and then went to Hull, and it was hard because we was in the Europa League. We built a squad for the Europa League, and the gaffer there, Steve, was building a squad, and then all of a sudden we didn't qualify for it. So we had this massive squad where there was probably, I can remember training on a Saturday, the day of the game, and there was probably 8 players training, not making the squad. And I was a young boy at the time. I always felt like I should have been playing. But no, it was difficult. But I went out on loan, got some games in the Championship, and that was really important. I was going to say, was Wigan an important part? I mean, it gave you football time again, and that must help, mustn't it? Yeah, it was really important in terms of I played 6 or 7 games. I don't know how long in the Championship. So I'd only really played in League One. So I really wanted to go and test myself in the Championship, and I always had great belief in my ability. I always felt I should have been playing at Hull, so I was great confidence going into playing at Wigan, and it was a great time for me. They had a great set of lads there. Obviously, Marky was there, and then it changed to Gary Caldwell, but they both was great with me, and I thank the club for that. And even though you didn't realise it then, of course, one manager was a Manchester United number 5, and then in Mike Phelan, a Manchester United number 3, so another defender. Yeah, definitely. He was obviously Mike's been brilliant with me ever since he was at Hull. I still learn a lot from him now. He pulls me for a chat, and he's improving my game, and he's improved my game throughout the years.
The most people know about you probably, certainly in the Premier League era, is Leicester City, and again, the right move to the right place, surrounded, I think, by the right players.
Yes, I had a few opportunities in a few different clubs I could go to, but Leicester fit the bill perfect. It's a really, really good family club. Give young players opportunities. It's an exciting team to play in, and it was a great move for me. It was one that I'm really proud to play for Leicester. I wish them all the best for the future, and they're a great club, and they're a club what's rising, and I hope they continue to do so. One
of the things I've read about you, and it's said a lot in articles about you, you haven't done it the easy way, but I guess you probably wouldn't have done it any differently either, would you?
No, definitely. I'm really happy with the journey I've been on. I've played in obviously League One Championship and now in the Premier League and playing for England. So no, it's a good journey. I've been on a ladder. I keep chipping away, and you'll always get doubters and people doubting this and doubting that. But I keep proving people wrong. And now I'm playing for such a big club like Manchester United. I'm still on a journey. I'm still on the ladder. I want to start now, trying to win things.
First crossed paths with Harry when he was 14.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions of this guy? Because certainly from what other people have told me, he didn't look like a footballer.
A lot of people say that, don't they? Probably a little bit later than 14, 15 in his under-16 season. Technically always good, excellent range of passing, always comfortable on the ball, always a big lad for his age, and just a real sort of confidence and a surety around himself.
What sort of kind of sets players apart at that age where you say, yeah, he's got a chance? I mean, in Harry's case, what was it? Did you say was it just the stature, or was it the reason?
Well, his stature, his ability on the ball, and there's a lot made of him not being the quickest. So his ability to read the game stood out from that age, definitely, and a lot younger from the other people I spoke to at the club.
I know a lot of people have talked to him about a potential leader, and he captained United in the Europa League. He's just captained England last week.
Yeah.
Did you see those kind of credentials early on as well?
I think there's different types of leaders, isn't there? Your archetypical leaders are maybe your Roy Keanes and people like that. I think that's changed maybe over the years. So you have different types of sort of leaders now. So in Harry's case, I think it's his surety and confidence and leading by example, possibly more than him growling at people, and I think that's...
Did he also have that skill that some great players have of making players around them play better?
I think that comes from the surety. If I'm a midfielder, I know Harry's going to give me the ball because he wants to play. He's not going to miss me out. If I'm a midfielder and I've got Harry behind me, there's a degree of a surety there that I can go and get along with my game and not be too concerned about what he's doing. I think that's just playing with good players, isn't it?
And how does the Harry the human being and Harry the footballer either differ, or how is it similar? Because a lot of people say, again, he's very laid back.
Yeah, you can see he's laid back, can't you? He's humble. He's a nice kid, and at Sheffield United we pride ourselves on that. Much like I'm learning here, in terms of the values of how important it is to be a good person as well as a good player, and you could see that from a young age.
And also, I guess, the impression that other people have of him, and probably being told when you first came across him that this is the one we've got our eye on, or one of the ones we've got our eye on, he's got a chance.
Yeah, so he was in a good group. So I think you'll come to it in a little bit. But they played Manchester United, Sheffield United played in the Youth Cup final when Harry was a second-year scholar. So there was other good players around him coming through the age groups. Obviously, he's had the best career by some distance, but a lot of the lads in that group have also had careers or parts of careers.
It's funny, the one thing, common theme that kind of runs through his cycle is that everyone wants to take credit for being the person or the club that made him into the kind of buccaneering run forward with the ball and distribution. Leicester say it was where Hull say it started at Sheffield United, surely, didn't it?
Yeah, that he would have been doing that from a young age. He was doing that when I first set eyes on him at 15, and that comes from his confidence, and he always wanted to play. He was always comfortable on the ball. He played in midfield as a younger player, and The staff were confident in his ability. They wanted to stretch him, playing further forward. So it was always there. Maybe encouraged more when he went to Leicester, and obviously playing with better players, playing at a higher level. It all adds up, doesn't it? And he grows as a player as well. He learns about himself. Once you get that confidence at any level, you then can progress your own game, can't you?